Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and welcome to some more stupid things about F1 2019 career mode. Yes, look, listen, I think F1 2019 is a great game. I really enjoy it. If you only watch these kind of videos from me on my channel, you think I absolutely hate the game and I can't stand it. But no, I do really enjoy F1 2019. Solid career mode. There just are stupid things in the game, obviously. We did one video before of the 7 stupidest things in the F1 2019 career mode, and well, in the comments below you guys had a flurry of more new stupid things that I had not even, some of these I haven't even come across myself yet in F1 2019, so some of these are definitely were appreciated from you guys, and so we're here with another 7 things that are stupid about the F1 2019 career mode in the game. Let's kick this thing off with number 1, and it's one that I'm no stranger to, is the Q3 R&D reset glitch if you don't make it through into Q3 from Q2, so, or even from Q into Q2 from Q1. That's a real mouthful, but bear with me. So, if you get knocked out in a session and you're at least, I would say, even second season, 2 seasons into your career mode, obviously every team around you and you as the player have done R&D upgrades to the cars, and so, you know, you might have the Williams be as fast as the Mercedes car, the Ferrari being as slow as the Racing Point. You know, you guys know the drift. You've watched enough career mode now in the past year or so of the R&D, how it works, especially this year. It's been rather bonkers with the AI, but if you get knocked out of Q1 or get knocked out of Q2, the subsequent session is then simulated, but for some really stupid reason, the cars always get reset to their base level car. So like the game, whatever the coding is, it basically says, okay, simulating, and then instead of using the actual R&D data, like, okay, so we've got this data set of the car for this play in this career mode save of season 3, let's say, and oh yeah, so Williams are next to Mercedes, Red Bull are down here with Racing Point, Ferrari are level pegging with Renault, and you know, that's how it is. But we're going to move that entire data set aside and just look at the base game of the season 1 cars, which is obviously, you know, Merc and Ferrari and Red Bull up top. Then you have a bit of a gap, then you have midfield, then you have Williams in a different postcode, basically. We're going to use that data to simulate it because it makes sense. The player's done 2 seasons to get these really cool R&D cars which are mixing up the grid order, and yet when he gets knocked out in Q2, to punish him for not making it into Q3, we're going to give him the old data. We're going to make him have a Mercedes on 1-2, because that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Number 2 is going to be the questionable damage model at times on F1 2019. Actually, F1 2018 as well, because this was a thing before. But example, if you've watched any of my Survive episodes, sometimes we've seen that the front wing can be broken when you're hit on the rear end. So you'll be hit on the gearbox part of your car or the rear wing. You think, okay, cool, alright, maybe a bit of damage to the gearbox, damage to the rear wing, maybe even a puncture on the rear tire. No, actually the front wing is going to fly off, because that's how physics works, you know, big impact like that. And the F1 cars, obviously, the such material makes it absorb all the energy at the rear end and literally shockwaves it through the car like jelly, and then breaks the front wing, because that's definitely something you see in real life all the time. I mean, case in point, of course, Verstappen, that crash he had at the Belgian Grand Prix hit the front end. I'm pretty sure the rear wing fell off. You know, if you look close enough, you might have not seen it, but it might have happened, because clearly the game thinks that's what's meant to happen when you have a collision. And aside from that more extreme example of the damage model being a little bit stupid at times, we've also got that classic thing of just being very inconsistent of, you know, when you hit a wall, on the sidewall, the tire, sometimes your tire breaks off, sometimes it's absolutely rock solid, like we've made it out of unobtainium, which is not a real metal, and I can't even remember what the film I'm quoting that metal from, but I think it might be an Avatar, is it? I don't know. But yeah, it almost seems like the car's made out of unobtainium at times, and then other times it's like we've literally got the Survive, you know, full hardcore damage on, you know, we've stuck the car on with Pritt Stick and Blue Tack and hope for the best. Maybe got a little toothpick in there for good measure to try and give some stability, and then we just sent it out on its way. It's interesting, for sure. Interesting's kind of kind word as well. I could go a lot harsher on that, but I'm not going to. Number 3. Now, this was not actually something I knew of, but was brought to attention by fellow YouTuber Tom97, is if you get knocked out of Q1 and go into Q2 and simulate that, sometimes, depending on the season you're in, perhaps maybe the AI cars have tyre wear upgrades on there. If you simulate it, what can happen is sometimes every single car in, well, the top cars at least, in Q2 will go on the medium tyre. Obviously, they start on the medium tyre. You start on the tyre you qualified in Q2 if you make it through into Q3, basic F1 rules. So all the cars use medium tyres, and so they start on medium tyres for the race, and therefore it completely eliminates any kind of race strategy because everyone is one-stopping. So it effectively ruins the entire race in terms of any kind of strategy. Obviously, we already know, the first part of the season before we had all these kind of 7 races in a row, which are absolute bangers. Before that, the one-stop was not the one in F1 2019. In the game especially, any time the races were a one-stop, it's a little bit annoying because it's not going to be as interesting as it could be. The two-stoppers generally always are very interesting because you have that kind of ebb and flow, the AI pitting a little bit earlier than you, later than you, safety car might come, well, actually no, the safety car doesn't come out, that's another stupid thing that doesn't happen, but that's another point entirely. But you know what I mean. Basically, it completely ruins your entire race because it ruins a potential good race because it's now just going to be a very dull one stop, lights the flag, and it's mediums, so they're probably going mediums to hards, or even if they go medium to softs, it's still probably not going to be that intriguing. So that was not one I've come across there, but Tom has, in fact, and so that sounds quite annoying, so I'm actually quite glad I've never come across that. Number 4 is going to be the sim times in qualifying. We've told you guys before in the video about what you should be doing in F1 2019 career mode, about not fast-forwarding times. Well, if you do, you're in for an absolute treat here, and I thought we were past this. I saw, the AI still speed up quite a fair bit when you fast forward in qualifying, but it wasn't as bad as F1 2018 when literally you would fast forward the time and about 5 AI cars would set the same time. Well, but a moment ago, this last week, I was doing a career mode episode. I won't tell you which one it was because it didn't actually get showed up in the end, but I did fast forward the session, and what happened was what happened in F1 2018. A lot of cars set near identical lap times, literally like robot bots. Obviously, you're giving away the AI. They are AI, but I mean, you're trying to have that mask of that they're not. They're the real drivers. But yeah, no F1 drivers are going to be putting in times like this. And it just, I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I thought, okay, cool. We have this fast forward glitch. It's not as bad as 2018 though. We're not getting like 5 laps together. No, I was wrong. I found it eventually, and it's here to stay apparently for the 3rd year in a row. 3rd year. Number 5 is going to be the team goals being set before your race weekend, or even with your contract objective. Really, actually, it's with your contract, and it never ebbs and flows in the middle of a race weekend. So you could sign a contract and say, okay, I'm going to come in the race in P3. Let's say you have a really bad qualifying, something bad happens, I don't know, the rain comes out and you just can't match the AI, of course. We've all been there, done that on F1 2019, I'm sure. So you qualify in 18th or whatever like that, and you have to have a comeback race. You have a stonking race, absolutely fabulous race, nail the strategy, great overtakes, good pace, come back to like P5, which I think is a very good comeback, P18 to P5, really, in all honesty, especially with the way the AI are. They are very good still on this year's game, of course, so it is tougher to make kind of comebacks from last to first in a 50% race, especially on heavier fuel and whatnot, and the tyre wear really kicking in a lot with 2 stops potentially. So P18 to P5, good comeback, and yet because your team goal was 3rd place, your team at the end of the race, your team radio is going to say, oh, that was an alright race, I guess, pick up rubber, whatever, and they're going to actually go down in reputation because you didn't hit your team goal of 3rd place, but you just came back from P18 to P5. It just does not make any sense. Like, come on. If that was real life, you'd be going, what an absolute man. What a machine. Great drive. Good recovery, mate. That is a solid one. You've earned that. You made up for it Saturday. Good work. You're not going to go, hang on a minute here, son. We're expecting P3 the entire weekend. Forget what happened on Saturday. You should have got P3 no matter what. You could have been starting 65 places back when the penalty if the FI gave you a penalty, you could have been starting in a different country. We would have expected you to come in P3. It's not good enough. Number 6 is going to be along the same lines of expectations. The practice programs for the last 3 years actually have been very harsh sometimes on some of the programs here and there. It kind of depends on what the track is, what the program is, the qualifying program, race program, tyre wear program. Certain tracks are easier for certain for practice programs, but across the board, some of the expectations are so high. Like you'll be in a Renault and you'll be expected to set a lap time that ends up being about P3 in the standings. I'm like, how is this being set as a practice program? We're in a Renault, Season 1, we're a midfield team, we can't even get P8 consistently, and the practice program that you want me to go to, the delta time you want me to drive to for a qualifying lap, is good enough to get me on the podium or the top 3 in the grid on Saturday. What is up with that? And then the same thing goes for tyre wear and whatnot. You expect me to come to a track like China's notoriously bad for this. It used to be worse. It used to be horrendous on F1 2017, I remember. China, you go around there, obviously long, swooping corners, high abrasion, the tyres are going to get a real workout there, and yet somehow you want me to cobble together this very competitive lap time while also lifting off, coasting through corners, saving my tyre. It just doesn't make sense. Like, again, I speak about, like we talked about before, the engineer saying stuff to you like as if he's not even been watching the race. Is the entire engineering department setting these goals and tasks all blindfolded? They're all just sat there blindfolded in a row, back of the factory, just tapping away at the keyboard, just making up numbers here for the practice they may as well have done. And finally, number 7, and when this got pointed out in the comments, I had to step back and think, you know what? This person's right here. Being world champion means squat all in the career mode. No one, you get the trophy, which is not even a 3D rendered trophy, like when they said trophy cabinet for this game, I was expecting an actual trophy cabinet, not just a kind of box square and I have a picture of a trophy. So shame on Cody's for that one as well, because I thought it was going to be a bit more bougie than that. But yeah, you get that little thing, and that's about it. Obviously, because every season, all the graphics say 2019 and stuff like that, so it's like a new season. You get, a little bit of reputation at the end, but that's about it. Number 1, the ability to have number 1 on your car, yeah, sure, but that's literally it. No one acknowledges you're a world champion. The commentary doesn't say you're a world champion, at least not that I can remember of, doesn't say you're a world champion. Any kind of contract negotiations doesn't factor into it. I mean, you carry on from the reputation you had before, but there's no special treatment, and it kind of feels like there should be, You're a world champion, you just became world champion. Everyone will be very interested in your services, maybe. They'll be very hot up on you in terms of, this guy's mega, he just won a championship, he's the reigning world champion, yet literally it's never mentioned again. It's like, you're a world champion, cool. Fade to black screen, load in next season. Sorry, who are you again? What? No, we don't know, mate. We don't know who you are. You're just another cog in the. You're just one of these drivers. You're just no one. So that's been 7 more stupid things in F1 2019. Like I said, though, I got to reiterate, I really do love F1 2019, the game. I like the career mode a lot. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best career modes they've done so far, apart from maybe the AI being very stupid in many ways compared to maybe 2018. But there's so many other features that kind of make up for it. But obviously, there are all these kind of stupid things. But of course, me being so passionate about the F1 games, making content, obviously, for you guys every single week, I just kind of, play past it basically. But it's all, I'm sure, frustrating, stupid things that we can all appreciate in this video together and just sigh in one big go as a group unit, I think. But guys, if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to hit the like button, be sure to sigh, whilst you watch the video. If you are new around here, subscribe for weekly Fallen content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.